Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Opportunity Zone. I got Mr. Chris Lavin.
And Nate Armstrong.
Hey guys, big show today. Number one, our administration has taken the front line on letting God back in. And so I want to highlight something that Scott Turner, Secretary of HUD, has done. Okay, so we'll get to that in a second. Next, some craziness is happening in California. If you've been following...
Wait a minute. Some sanity is happening in California.
Okay, sanity, craziness, we'll call it what it is when we get to it, but there's reasons why we don't invest there. We want to show you guys a couple of things that are happening that you cannot miss at all right now. Crypto is being allowed in the mortgage world. If you're sitting on crypto or if you're trying to get it to be included as an asset, we're going to show you the loophole on that today while we're together. Additionally, I want to talk a bit about what ICE has done to Texas properties. There's literally a few operators that are showing detrimental losses right now, but we'll explain why and all that stuff and how it ties together in just a couple of minutes. And then additionally, we got a huge IPO coming on a new kind of landlord.
A big landlord.
Big landlord. This might
As
be...
a matter of fact, it's a colossus landlord.
No pun intended, right?
Every pun intended.
All right, I'm going to ask Mr. Lavin to give us a blessing first.
Should we ask me? Okay.
Well, okay, let's let Scott Turner. This is Secretary of HUD. Let's let him give a little chat.
You, King of Kings, to give you all glory, honor, and praise. In faith, we declare our dependence and dedication to you, God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. For you alone are our Creator and salvation. We come humbly to confess our sins and receive your forgiveness. Today, in the presence of God and one another, we gather to pray, to celebrate, and to rededicate ourselves to you personally and in covenant as one nation under God, to love you with all our heart, soul, mind, and strength, to love our neighbor as you have loved us. Pray fervently and tell of your glory and goodness to all peoples as we abide in you and your word abides in our hearts now and forevermore. Amen.
Amen.
It's rare when you see an administration that adopts God back in. I mean, our country was founded with God in the mix, but I think we've lost our way a bit.
It's rare nowadays.
Rare nowadays.
Yeah.
Additionally, you have the Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth. He's praying for our nation. He's got his comments. We're walking into basically on the National Mall, a lot of prayer. And so anyways, Chris, is there anything like you to say? If you have anything you'd like to add, feel free. Otherwise, we'll jump in.
Let's go ahead and jump in. I think he said it all. But one thing I want to point out in his prayer, he said, and love all peoples. He didn't say love Christians. He didn't say love Jews. He didn't say love Muslims. He said, and love all peoples. He was reading right from Scripture. And I think that's a beautiful sentiment. If we could love each other as God loved us, it would be an amazing place. But I also want to point out that God didn't tolerate the sin. He didn't tolerate the injustice. He loved us all as we loved him. And let's remember that. We don't have to accept the sin. We don't have to accept the insanity, but we do have to love each other. That's what we're commanded to do. Anyways.
Beautiful. I'm going to jump right into a very contested space in Los Angeles right now. We've got Spencer Pratt talking about landlords, and I want to get your take on this.
Right now in LA, if you're just a mom and pop landlord, they always like to say landlords are like Cruella de Vil level, like, he's bad. Right. Just like a mom and pop, maybe you own one apartment building with units. If you have like a drug addict, crazy person living in there, most of them now also with their Section 8 scammer and Range Rovers, have 2 cars. If you want to get them out, they can go a whole year with not paying these landlords, and then they have to pay $100,000 in legal fees to try to get them out. So then they settle with this criminal that's just abusing this loophole in this system. They'll give them 50, 40K to just leave. That person's not put on any list, and then they go do it to another apartment building. So a lot of these apartment buildings, they don't even want to rent out to people because they can't afford to then have one of these people. So again, with this housing, and then ready for this, the city council, if it was not 170 million, It's $200 million. Just gave $170 million to the lawyers that sue the tenants for these people. But there's no fund for the tenants to. Do you know?
Unbelievable to hear what's happening, but this is California law.
This is insanity. Insane. Why are people leaving en masse? There you go. How do you invest in a system that is stacked against you like that? Like, I don't know about you. Well, I do know about you. We've earned our money, right? We worked hard. What you don't see is, the years and years of the grinding and, working all weekend, being away from our families and sacrifice to get the money that we have, to start a business, to grow the business, to build a business, to have some guy who's done nothing except sit on his couch, smoke weed, and play Xbox. Now I have to write him a $40,000 to $50,000 check to get out of my property in order to keep me from paying $100,000 in legal fees? Is that insane? And now they paid $170 million to the lawyers of the tenants that sued the landlord. Are you nuts? What is wrong with California? So this guy, I like this guy, by the way. I Pratt, right? Is his last name? Yeah. I love the hat, right? So this guy, like, I'm going to say this, and I know I'm going to get some kickback in the comments. So hate me if you want. I don't care. I'm going to say what I'm going to say. He's a Republican. Common sense is coming back to politics. He wants to set this stuff straight. He's got some amazing videos, by the way, that are pretty crazy. I am Batman. Anyways, he's got some amazing videos, and basically, he's just laying down what you and I would consider to be common sense, because it doesn't seem to be any common sense in California. I don't know what's going on politically, but this guy's got a 70% approval rating, you were saying?
Yeah, against Karen Bass. Karen Bass is the
Democrat?
Democratic incumbent, so she should have easily taken this in a landslide. She's got Kamala Harris's backing, but she's getting ran over right now.
Well, you know what? You can only kick a dog for so long before it bites back. I'm telling you, that's what's going on. The people of California, even the Democrats, are saying, this is crazy. Like, we can't live here. Like, it just doesn't function. Doesn't work. So I love this guy, and I know very little about him, and I hope it plays out that he's the new mayor of LA.
Yeah, me too. What a contrast between New York's new mayor and this guy. So,
oh, that's just, oh man, I'm still surprised that guy's still alive. I'm shocked that he hasn't been taken out yet.
Speaking of New York, so there was a video recently done
by Mandami,
new mayor of New York. He stood in front of a high-end luxury building and he pointed up at a penthouse and said, "Hey, this guy has to pay the billionaire tax." Well, this guy is this guy.
Ken Griffin.
This is Ken Griffin, and I want you to hear a couple comments, and this will help set some trends for you.
Is now, when we moved from Chicago, there was a debate between New York and Miami. It's unquestionably true that we made the right choice. I'll leave it at that. It's unquestionably true that we made the right choice. And now what the mayor of New York has made clear to my partners, and principally my New York partners, is that we need to double down on our bet in Miami, because we want to be in a state that embraces business, that embraces education, that embraces personal freedom and liberty, and that embraces people having an opportunity to live the American dream. And
so there's Ken. What's your take?
Okay, so I go both ways on this one. Listen, I love what this guy is saying. All of that is true about Florida, but guys, listen, if you're going to invest in multifamily and build new multifamily, I think that a better alternative is either South or North Carolina. Florida is full. We are full up. Listen, we don't have no room. There's no room left. So now they're building up, and now you can't see the ocean anymore. Stay in North and South Carolina. But you know what? I don't know if you look real close at Mandami when you're shooting that video. Did you look real close?
What was I looking for?
The Kevlar vest underneath his suit.
Oh, really? Was he?
Yes. If he's got any brains, he's got a Kevlar vest on. Somebody's going to knock that guy out, right? Yes, it's true. We can't invest in New York either because of the reasons that he mentioned. Mandami is a nut. Like, he's literally, there's a saying, penny wise, pound foolish. If you give tax breaks to the rich, people that are investing money, yes, it does amazing things for them. And yes, it seems very lopsided. but those people bring money into the economy. They invest in the economy, and then everybody benefits from jobs, housing, everything. The people that built this country are people that built this country, and it continues to go. People that have the foresight and invest to gain wealth are investing in your communities. And yeah, give them tax breaks to get in your community. I get it. And they invest lots of money because then they bring jobs and economic stimulation. So big bad move.
Let's talk about the tax breaks, because that's a misconception. It's not like, millionaire or billionaire just puts money into an investment and then automatically they're specific, targeted. So for example,
generate jobs.
Yeah, generate jobs, housing.
Yep.
Manufacturing right now.
Yep.
We bought a big machine for one of our manufacturing facilities last year, and there were big tax breaks that came with it. Real estate, we're in the middle of buying a large piece of multifamily that literally people that put in any amount of money, let's just call it $1 million, $500,000, they get up to that same dollar amount back. They get to deduct that. They get to knock down what they normally pay the IRS.
Correct.
And so these are targeted tax breaks. It's not just blank check.
Yeah, go buy a $2 million Lamborghini and you can write it off. No, that's not the way it works. There has to be economic impact in the communities, especially in opportunity zones. Now, I'm here to tell you, it's not a perfect system, right? There's always some pork and there's always some BS going on somewhere, and there's always somebody that's favored a little bit more than others. But at the end of the day, it's smart, man. It's just smart. You're driving these investors out of California. You're going to have nobody to tax at the end of the day. Property values are going to go down, and then you won't even have property taxes to survive on. And then you know what happens? Joe and Marie that are out there, earning $70,000, $75,000 a year, which is like minimum wage in California, their taxes are going to go up even more because they're not supported by the people that had money because they left. It's stupid.
Spot on. I'm going to change gears on you, Chris. We're going to talk about these crypto-backed mortgages that are coming mainstream now.
Yep.
You've got basically the tokenization of assets happening. People can literally, instead of selling their crypto, they can use their crypto, leave it in the same place, and leverage it to get a down payment on a house. And
correct. That is correct. But you got to understand, it is a loan. This is my concerns, right? First of all, when I heard this, I was like, no, right? Because cryptocurrency tanked not too long ago, right? We had, a crash in the crypto market. Now what we're having, everybody would have been over leveraged. But the thinking behind this is pretty good. It's 2.5 times. So if you want 100,000, you have to pledge 250,000 in crypto. Cool with that. But here's what happens is you're now allowing people to mortgage their houses at 100%, right? So I get that if they walk away from it, they can get the crypto, right? The person holding the note on the first mortgage being the down payment. I don't know. I just think that I think that these kind of tactics lead to poor economic times because people are buying more than they can handle. Now, I'm going to flip that a little bit and contradict myself.
Yeah, because what do you say to the person that says, well, I have a stock market margin account that I have a loan against now, and I do the same thing? Right.
And that's what I'm saying. I'm going to flip this now and flip it against myself. So I'm in the process of purchasing a significant asset. And rather than me use my cash, I've taken my cash, moved it into specific investments that have continuous returns, and the bank is allowing me to use 90% of that money, right, as a line of credit to purchase the asset. Why would I do such a thing? That sounds insane. Well, first of all, the spread on that is very small. I'm paying a very small amount, but it allows me to maintain my liquidity for evaluation of my overall net worth, right? So there are times in this way to use leverage, and I feel that, but I'm just concerned about teaching poor economics to people, right? But on the flip side, if crypto keeps going through the roof, at some point you can sell half your crypto, get your money back, and keep going. I guess I just said a whole lot to say I don't know. I don't know. I've got pluses and minuses. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm for it because it's their asset already. And if they needed to, they could liquidate it and they could use it as a down payment. But now they have the benefit of doing both, just like you are for your big purchase.
Correct.
All right. Next up, Mr. Lavin, we have a property down in Texas that the operators are saying that, hey, this ICE enforcement pushing people out of our area, it hurt us so bad that literally we've come to our knees, and now the property is going to special servicing.
Yeah.
They have a 294 unit building, and because of a lot of people skipping out on rent and whatnot after ICE came through, they can't make their mortgage payment anymore.
This is the one that calls about tomorrow.
This is not that one.
Oh, the
Not
other
that
one. All right, all
It's
right.
another one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just want to get your take. Like, this is happening. We've seen this.
I love this. Why do I love this? Okay, why do I love this? I mean, that sounds really opportunistic. So, one of the things that you have to understand is the global picture of our business, Home Invest, right here, right, is to have a positive impact on the world. People made poor decisions based on their loans and other financial factors and thought it was going to be easy peasy to go in, buy an apartment complex and just operate it. We are, first of all, saving these people. Believe it or not, I know it sounds like we're vultures, but we're saving these people from ending up with a foreclosure on their record, so they can never get another Fannie or Freddie loan. But we're going in there, we're saving it before it goes into special servicing, or as it goes into special servicing, so they're never denied. This is never held against them. Then we're getting an amazing asset that we can take, invest a few dollars in, and bring back to the value it needs to be. But we've got a whole lot of sweat equity to do. We got a lot of work to get that to where it needs to be, because ICE has really impacted, whether you believe it or not, ICE has really impacted lease rates, lease percentages and how stabilized these properties are. So we go in there, we do the sweat equity for the next 2 or 3 years, and then we get a payday on the other end. And a lot of times, quite often when we do these type of deals, we take care of the people that could have been hurt as a result of this transaction, the previous investors, that kind of thing, because we are altruistic on top of being entrepreneurs. So it's our goal to make sure that we do our best to deliver God's message and do his will on this earth. So these kinds of deals, they're coming along, and we try to be the least painful or negatively impactful on the people that are on the receiving end of this. So we're getting these great deals, and our investors are making a lot of money, and we're saving a lot of people, and we're having a positive impact in the world. I think it's a great situation that could have been really bad.
Yeah. Meanwhile, while some of these vacancy issues are out there, we can grab killer deals.
Grab, and because we were wise and we have a war chest, or we have enough capital in reserve that we can maintain these difficult times. We can ride out these difficult times and come out the other end, and it'll make it look like we're geniuses, when the reality is we're smart guys, don't get me wrong, but the reality is we put God's principles before us. We save and we tithe and we do the right things over and over again. And it seems like the more right things I do, the luckier I get. Isn't that funny?
Magic, Chris. That's magic. All right, next up, the fraud scam gets deeper, and I'm gonna have you react to this, Chris, because this is it's smashing all over. This is our man from Minnesota that helped bust the Quality Leering Center, the Somali fraud from daycares. Yeah. He found some more.
To a story I mentioned that I'm not going to let go. It's this Minnesota fraudster who cuts no jail plea deal with a key condition tied to alleged mastermind. These were the texts I put up. This guy is a co-defendant in fraud, fled the country, and they just don't give him jail time. I mean, your hard work really led to moments like this. What's your reaction to this?
Well, I'm always on the edge of sanity and insanity here when I see this. You know, we had that other gentleman who was convicted of $7.2 million of fraud. A unanimous conviction by the jury, and Judge Sarah West overturned the guilty verdict. That was just recently. And then we had this woman who owned the Future Leaders Early Learning Center, which Nick and I featured in our video. And she, over the last 5 years, has gotten almost $12 million for her child care. She was also part in the Feeding Our Future fraud, where she said she served 426,000 meals at her child care facility, which is not a very big place. And she was fleeing the country. They caught her at the airport. She had a one-way ticket to London, where she owns a very large home. So, look, when I started all this, I said, I'm going to destroy this whole fraud empire. And I realized that it was not only throughout Minnesota, but it had spread throughout the country. And I knew it was in Columbus, Ohio, it was in Lewiston, Maine. It's not in California. It's not in LA, because that's the Russian Armenian mob out there that has the hospice centers that Nick uncovered. But now we see in North Carolina, the story came out today, that they've had a 47,000% increase
So, Chris, I want to get your take on this because I know you and your wife, you guys have a benevolence fund. You
But
feed kids. Like, this
How
tax
insane
dollars.
is this?
Tax
What,
dollars.
$40 million, almost $50 million. You start, nobody went to jail. One more claim, 24. What? What?
This,
What?
This is where tax dollars are going right now.
But listen, you realize that this makes it. Why wouldn't the honest guy try this? There's no consequences, right? There's no consequences. Do it. Pay a few dollars in legal fees, walk away with the money, and then pay restitution. If you're smart, you've hidden the money somewhere, and you move to the Bahamas. Like, seriously, this is. I don't get it. Like, why? Why is this happening?
To be clear, Chris is not advocating to do this.
No, I am not
He's
advocating
being
this. But
sarcastic.
do you understand how insane this is? Don't commit crime because there's no penalties. What? I don't get it.
Yeah.
I'm dumbfounded.
It breaks my heart because that's my original home state. I mean, now I'm a Florida boy, but
I'm going to ask this question. Listen, I grew up in Providence, Rhode Island, and back in the day in Providence, Rhode Island, if you knew the right people and you had a few dollars, you could bribe your way out of anything. Is it crooked there?
Minnesota. So about 15 years ago, and I'm not trying to target one group, but I'm just going to speak from firsthand experience. The Somali population increased, and that's where they're pointing most of this alleged fraud happening right now. And they started taking political seats, a lot of them. And
So it is. It's a network.
I'm speculating that there's a lot of backdoor
but you
deals.
know what? If it walks like a duck, quacks like a duck, it might be a duck.
Yeah.
Quack, quack.
Yeah,
Mhm.
exactly. It's funny. I used to see it when I was living there, like literally all these med cabs, like medical cabs and stuff driving around, and they would be empty all the time. And I always wondered, like, where are they all going all the time? And it was always a Somalian driver. And I never questioned, like, where's all the money coming from? But now they're busting this fraud circle, and they're actually convicting them, but they're not getting any consequences.
Judge overturned the conviction of a jury?
Yeah, craziness. So I bring it up because our tax dollars,
Right.
like this.
Yeah, I've never built a bridge nowhere. This is why I am so adamant about legally not paying income taxes. This is the reason. Our government can't seem to keep track of the money and where it's going. And I know, I know that if I don't pay taxes on property legally, right? If I don't pay income taxes legally by using the tax law to do it, I will take that money and it will benefit people. I give it to the government and it's benefiting people to the tune of millions of dollars, and then they're not even going to jail over it. And we'll never get that money back. You know we'll never get that money back. How are these people going to pay that money back?
Well, it's wired overseas already.
Yeah, it's gone. And they're not going to flipping burgers. Like, what are they going to do? Nuts, man. This is like demoralizing to me.
They'll move to California and they'll move into a landlord's house.
Get it 50 grand at a time. They'll pay it back 50 grand at a time. There you go.
All right, Chris, this one, you didn't get to read this one yet, but I'm just going to brief you quick now. This is they call him the Bond King.
Yep.
He's saying there's no more rates, no more rate cuts coming, not this year anyways. And we should be loading up on cash, gold, and real estate. He goes on to basically forecast a lot of inflation. I want to get your reaction to this. Your thoughts?
I don't disagree, right? So whenever times get economically, get really scary, right, and all over the place, and the economy is not solid, having real assets is the way to go. Something that you can count on. And one of the reasons that multifamily real estate is one of the better assets, gold and those are all great, but they rise at a very slow rate. Multifamily assets are based on the amount you can charge for rent and keeping your expenses down and properly operating it, or as the simple term is, the net operating income. So at the end of the day, if you've got $100,000 worth of net operating income, that property is worth $1.6666 million, give or take. If you've got $1 million, you've got a $16.5 million property. It's very basic math. So because you can operate the property correctly and do the right thing and put the work into it, you can maintain the value of that property even through difficult economic times, which makes sense, right? And here's the thing. In difficult economic times, even when things are not transacting, you can always refinance. You can always refinance to pull more of the value out of the property, as long as the property can continue to service the debt as your debt gets larger, because it's obviously going to get larger over time as your property goes up in value. So, yeah, hard assets in scary economic times, smart move. Multifamily real estate is where I am, just so you know.
Yeah, I think we'll bring more data to this on a future episode, but I anticipate an inflationary environment for the next 5+ years. There's a lot of debt right now, and it's an easy way to inflate out of it. So I'll bring more data for that next week.
You? Data?
Yeah. Mhm. I've been compiling this for a bit. And next up, though, we have a colossal landlord.
Pun intended.
So Elon Musk, he's taking SpaceX public. SpaceX merged with XAI. They did a whole bunch of financial moves right before this big IPO is announced. But one of the biggest deals that they signed was they're leasing or partnering and giving out space and kind of a rental contract to Anthropic, which is Claude. So AI space, compute space. And this is a really big deal. Why?
Why is it a really big deal? Because of the dollars involved, and because AI is kind of the current, service roll up, right? It's the hot commodity, and we're running out of data center space. We're running out of equipment to build data centers, primarily memory and other things. And I think this is like a 220,000 GPU data farm, this Colossus computer, which is basically a huge cluster of other computers, right? So that's amazing stuff. But guess what? I think we got lucky again.
Lucky?
Lucky.
Blessed,
Prepared. Lucky, prepared, prudent, smart, good stewards. Because as part of our CRZ transaction, and those of you involved in the CRZ transaction, we had a plan to start building a data center in January of 2027 in one of our Ohio properties. Guess what this just did? This is accelerating our plans to build there and in New Jersey. You know why? $1.75 trillion IPO. That's why it's valuable. So as we build this data center, lease it up and then sell it. We won't even have to operate it. We'll just lease it up. Back in the day, I did this with cell phone towers. That's something I probably never told you. No. All right. So you used to be able to build a cell phone tower for $100,000. You then lease it up to operators for 100 years. You sell those towers for $3 million with the leases. Boom. Done deal. I had a person that was involved in my life at the time. She was doing this. We got partnered. Man, I made so much money in like a year and a half that it was insane. It was a great gig to have. But she was on the inside with the cell providers. So boom. Same thing's going to happen here. We'll build it up, get it leased up, and then sell it to investors and walk away. And that will, you're welcome, investors. Another home run. And listen, we all know, everybody that's involved in the CRZ deal knows that this was just like kind of something on the ancillary that we had planned on doing. But guess what? It's definitely being accelerated. Definitely being accelerated. And to answer your question before you ask, no, we won't need any more of your money. We've got it worked into the business plan.
True story.
True story.
Well, since you're on a winning roll, Chris,
I'm
going to let you talk about this $2 billion that Ford just announced for Louisville.
Blessed again. So listen, with Georgetown, we hit it out of the park with Toyota, right? Toyota coming in for the EPV. Louisville, guess what? We have beautiful assets in Louisville. We've got great assets. Workforce housing in Louisville, which is exactly the people that are going to benefit from this investment by Ford. So you know what's going to happen to rents in Louisville? Through the roof. And as I just explained to you about NOI, is basically a calculation of the amounts you can collect, the expenses you take out of that, ends up with your net operating income. That net operating income determines the value of your property. All of that Louisville property is going through the roof, baby. And we're going to do some creative refinancing and get some money back to our investors. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. I'm loving it.
So on that note, Chris, next week for the Opportunity Zones show,
Yep.
We're going to do an on-site, and
Yep.
we're actually going to show you guys an investment opportunity.
But this is better.
This is better.
Yeah.
This is one where literally, imagine this. You put your money in.
I don't have to imagine it.
You invest dollars. You get those dollars back, or the majority of those dollars back, in a short window of time, and you still get dividends from that thing for life.
As though you never got any of your original cash back.
Boom. Payments keep coming.
Payments keep coming.
And keep coming.
And keep coming. Forever and ever, amen, for as long as you own that property. And guess what? When you refinance a property and return that money, or give some of the extra cash that's left over, that's the best way to phrase it, I think, some of the extra cash that's over from that refi, and you give it to your investors, you don't get taxed on it. You know why?
It's debt.
It's debt. You don't pay taxes on debt. Even though the numbers in your checking account grow, it's debt. You never pay money on it. And may never pay taxes on that money. It's a great formula. We've got 2 home runs. We did Morgan Terrace, and we were ahead of our business plan on that one. And we also did Barksdale. And that one's going great in a crazy kind of way. Wow. So anyways, we've had home run after home run after home run. And now's your opportunity to jump on a deal that's doing exactly the same thing. But listen, I'm telling you, I'm cautioning you. If you are serious about investing and want to get involved in this deal, these type of deals get eaten up fast. Jump on, go to homeinvest.com/waitlist, put waitlist in the comments below, and somebody will reach out to you. But do not miss this opportunity. Great cash flowing asset. Get your money back within a couple of years and maintain your position in that asset. And we're buying this one at such a great price. The upside is just upside and upside and upside. So don't say Uncle Chris didn't warn you.
That's a wrap, Chris. Anything you want to close with?
No, listen. Yes, there is. I always say no and then speak some more. Yes, I would love to mention one thing. Many of you know my story and know that at 14 years old, I was homeless and dying behind a dumpster. And God has blessed me with an amazing life. And that amazing life includes an amazing wife, amazing friends, relationships, and a deep, deep, deep felt purpose in life. And he allows me indulgences too. I have beautiful things on the outside as well as on the inside. And I know one thing for a fact: God does not love me any more than he loves you, and he does not love you any more than he loves me. So seek his will for your life today, and I'm sure you'll reap the rewards. God bless. Thank you for being here.
Thanks, guys.